Ghana Airways begins this story, not as a company on a balance sheet, but as a feeling, one stitched into family memories of departures, homecomings, and the quiet pride of seeing a nation's colors glide across foreign skies. Born in 1958 and carried by the ambitions of a young Ghana, the airline became a symbol of arrival, a declaration that the country could connect itself to the world on its own wings. But symbols don't pay fuel bills. They don't always survive the storms of mismanagement, debt, and shifting politics. By 2004, Ghana Airways had ceased operations, its roots falling silent, its brand fading into the bittersweet category of what we once had. And yet, some names refuse to die. They wait.
Welcome to African Dream Motivation. Let's begin.
In aviation, comeback stories rarely happen in one dramatic leap. They happen in paperwork, negotiations, and the slow building of trust. Because a national airline is not just a plane with a flag, it is a system that must be safe, certified, funded, and run like a discipline. That is why the years after 2004 read like a long runway, with multiple takeoff attempts that never fully left the ground. In 2018, Ethiopian Airlines was selected as a partner for a new Ghanaian national carrier, and reports in 2019 suggested a finalized strategic partnership agreement, momentum that hinted at a fresh chapter. Then in October 2020, the story pivoted again. Egyptair signed a memorandum of understanding with Ghana's government to establish a national aviation company. It sounded like ignition, another spark, another promise. But aviation is unforgiving to plans that aren't anchored to execution, and the dream, while never abandoned, kept being delayed. By 2023, the relaunch effort had shifted toward a Ghana Airlines concept, with Ashanti Airlines positioned as a strategic partner, alongside financing and operational support tied to Zotus Group. Public messaging projected urgency. Announcements suggested operations could start within months, and then the hard realities returned. A later industry report noted that Ashanti Airlines' certification process collapsed in May 2024, one of those blunt moments where ambition meets regulation, capital, and capacity, and loses. For ordinary people watching from the outside, these stops and starts can feel like betrayal. For policymakers and aviation professionals, they are warnings. Don't rush the cockpit checks. Don't mistake announcements for readiness. Don't confuse nostalgia with a business model. So the question became sharper and more painful. If Ghana was truly going to fly again, what would be different this time? In 2025, the project entered a more structured phase. A 10-member task force was established to steer the revival effort, created under the direction of President John Dramani Mahama, according to reports, and chaired by Charles Asare, a former managing director of Ghana Airports Company Limited. By October 31st, 2025, updates indicated that the task force had submitted a business model and operational framework to Ghana's lawmakers, signaling that the plan was being shaped with more institutional discipline than in earlier cycles. Then, on January 30, 2026, a headline landed with the kind of clarity people had been waiting for. The Minister of Transport, Joseph Bukari Nikbe, said Ghana's proposed national airline was expected to become operational within 12 months, expressing optimism that outstanding documentation and processes would be completed in time. This is where Hope of 2026 stops being a poetic slogan and becomes a countdown. 12 months is not a fantasy timeline, but it is a demanding one. It implies urgency, coordination, and the kind of quiet competence that doesn't trend online but keeps aircraft safe in the air. A national airline is never just about planes. It is about sovereignty, yes, but also about credibility. To attract investment and passengers, Ghana must convince the world that this effort will not be another headline that expires. That is why partnership conversations keep reappearing. In July 2025, reporting indicated Ghana was courting TAPI Air Portugal, while also noting how previous partnership attempts had failed to materialize. And in early 2026, Ghana's re-engagement with external technical support was still visible in diplomatic channels, including discussions involving the United Arab Emirates and meetings in Abu Dhabi, framed as exploring assistance for re-establishing a national airline. Meanwhile, commentators have continued to frame the airline question as an economic one, not just sentimental pride, arguing that ticket revenue and connectivity shape national advantage in an aviation-driven world. A December 2025 analysis captured that shift in tone. Less romance, more strategy. And yet, the romance matters too, because every successful national carrier is built on something you can't audit: the public's willingness to believe again. If this comeback is real, its first heartbeat will be heard in the terminals, at check-in counters, in boarding calls, in the pauses families take before they hug goodbye. The new Ghana Airways story, whether the brand returns exactly as it was or is reborn through a new national carrier structure, will be judged by what people can touch: reliable schedules, professional service, safe operations, and routes that make sense for business, tourism, and the diaspora. Because the world does not reward a flag on a tail alone, it rewards consistency. Ghana Airways has always been more than metal and miles. It has been a mirror, reflecting what the nation believes it can build and how patiently it can build it. Now, with a task force in place, a legislative roadmap discussed, and a minister publicly attaching the word 12 months to the dream, 2026 feels less like a wish and more like a moment of decision. If the comeback succeeds, it won't just be an airline returning. It will be a national lesson rewritten, that loss does not have to be the final chapter, and that a grounded dream can still taxi back onto the runway, lights on, engines steady, ready this time not for applause but for altitude. And somewhere, when that first aircraft lifts from Accra and turns into open sky, a familiar ache may finally soften into something else. Pride without fear, hope without excuses, wings at last that hold.
Thank you for making it to the end of this video, and you've been watching African Dream Motivation. Kindly subscribe for more.